In a cozy cottage at the edge of a sun-dappled forest lived a mother goat with her 7 beloved kids. 6 of them were playful and boisterous, but the 7th, the youngest and smallest, was a quiet and observant goat named Pip. Their days were filled with sunshine and laughter, a peaceful life that was, however, shadowed by the threat of a cunning wolf who lived deep within the woods. One morning, Mother Goat had to go to the market. "My dearest children," she said, her voice gentle but serious, "I must leave you for a while. Promise me you will not open the door for anyone. The wolf is clever and will try to trick you. You will know it is me by my soft voice and my white feet, which you can see under the door." The kids all nodded, but Pip's nod was the most resolute. The wolf had been watching, his stomach growling with hunger. As soon as the mother goat was out of sight, he crept to the cottage. He knocked on the door and, in a deep, gravelly voice, called out, "Let me in, little goats. It is your mother, back from the market with treats for you all." The little goats knew that this was not their mother's voice. Pip, being the quickest thinker, was the first to speak. "Go away," he shouted bravely. "Your voice is rough and deep. Our mother's voice is as gentle as a lullaby. You must be the wolf." Thwarted, the wolf stomped away, muttering to himself. But his cunning mind was already at work. He went to the market and bought a large jar of sweet honey. After eating it all, his voice became as sweet and high-pitched as the mother goat's. The wolf, annoyed but still confident, slid his paws under the door. The little goats saw 2 big, black paws. "You are not our mother," they shouted. "Her feet are as white as snow. You are the wolf." He returned to the cottage and knocked again. "My darlings, it's your mother," he sang in his new, sweet voice. The goats were almost fooled, but Pip remembered the second part of their mother's warning. "Wait," he cried. "Show us your feet." Now, truly angry, the wolf ran to the mill and dipped his paws in flour, making them perfectly white. He was certain that this time his trick would not fail. When the wolf returned for the 3rd time, his voice was sweet and his paws were white. The 6 little goats, forgetting their caution in their excitement, threw open the door. There stood the wolf, grinning wickedly. Panic erupted. The goats scattered, hiding wherever they could. But Pip, with his quick mind, found the perfect hiding place: the tall case of the grandfather clock. He slipped inside just as the wolf began his terrible feast. The wolf, having devoured 6 of the little goats, felt his eyelids grow heavy. He waddled out to the meadow and soon fell into a deep sleep, his enormous belly rising and falling with his snores. He was so full, he never even noticed that one little goat was missing. When the mother goat returned, she was met with a heart-wrenching sight. Her home was in disarray, and her children were nowhere to be seen. She called their names, her voice trembling with fear, but only silence answered her. Just as she was about to give up hope, a tiny voice called out, "Mama." From the grandfather clock, little Pip emerged. He told her the whole terrible story, and together they wept for the lost siblings. But then, a fire of determination lit up the mother goat's eyes. Through the window, they saw the wolf, still fast asleep. Pip noticed something strange. "Mama, his tummy is moving," he exclaimed. The mother goat realized her children might still be alive inside. She quickly formulated a plan. "Pip," she said, "bring me scissors, a needle, and thread, and be very quiet." Quietly, they approached the sleeping wolf. With trembling but steady hands, the mother goat made a small incision in the wolf's belly. To her immense joy, one little goat poked its head out, then another and another, until all 6 were free, shaken but unharmed. "Now, quickly," whispered the mother goat, "let's fill his belly with these heavy stones." Working together, they replaced the weight of the little goats with rocks from the riverbed. Then, the mother goat carefully sewed the wolf's stomach back up. Hours later, the wolf awoke with a groan. His stomach felt terribly heavy and rumbled strangely. "Oh, I must have eaten too much," he grumbled. "I'm so thirsty." He lumbered towards the river for a drink, but as he bent down to drink from the cool river, The heavy stones in his belly shifted. He lost his balance, and with a yelp of surprise, he tumbled into the water. The weight of the rocks pulled him down, and the current swiftly carried him away. The mother goat and her 7 little ones watched from the safety of the riverbank as the wolf was swept away, never to be seen again. They cheered and danced, their hearts full of joy and relief. They were all together, and they were safe. That evening, the cottage was filled with happy, bleating, and laughter. The mother goat looked at her children, her heart swelling with pride, especially for her clever little Pip, whose quick thinking had saved them all. And from that day on, they lived in their peaceful cottage, always remembering the day the small but smart little goat outsmarted the big bad wolf. Night, Mommy Goat. Night, 7 little goats. Subscribe for more storytelling.